Hello, 8th grade. Okay, first you're going to notice that I did put a little sun over here in the corner, and that's just so that you guys know where my light source is coming from later on. Okay, I've got two colors that I'm going to use for my ground and my sky, and then I've got 7 different colors that I'm going to use for our different cubes. Okay, so these are the colors that I've chosen. Alright, so I'm going to start by lightly shading my top for my sky and my ground. So I'm just using my blue, and I'm not scribbling. I'm just using the side of it to lightly shade it in. Okay, and I'll probably fast forward through the spot. Just be careful around your cubes. Messy. My paper actually ends right here, so all of that would be cut off. Okay, I color all the way up to the edge. Okay, so now I need to do the ground. I'm going to do the same thing with the ground. You need to be really careful when you're going around your cubes. I tend to like to put a little bit of an outline around them before I start shading my background. Notice I don't want to go too dark, because for the ground we're going to be adding shadows, so I need the ability to get darker than what most of it's shaded. Okay, so I'm going to fast forward through this again. You know, so basically it's going to be like, boom, I'm done. But I just want you to, you know, just be careful when you're coloring, okay? Okay. So, now I've got my ground done, I've got my sky done. Be careful if you've got something under your paper. There was this little piece of pencil sharpening underneath, and it made a dark mark on my paper when I shaded over top of it. So just careful that everything's, you know, smoothed over and there isn't any kind of eraser marks or anything underneath. Okay, so now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add the different shades for each of these boxes or cubes. The ones that are, the face that's closest to the sun is going to be the lightest, then you're going to have the medium, and then you're going to have the dark. The dark's going to be whatever's the farthest away. I'm going to start with my pink first, and I'm just going to lightly shade in. Be really careful around your edges. You do not want this to get muddy looking where everything looks the same. If you just color the whole thing in the same color, you're not going to get full credit. The shading and adding value is what gives it form. If you don't pay attention to this part, then you probably won't do very well on the final grade. Okay, so this is going to be my dark, because I'm saying that this is farthest away. You know, it's subjective as far as this is concerned, because it's a drawing. Some might say that the left face is going to be farther away. I'm going to leave that up to you. You can decide whether you want to make the bottom or the left face farther away, which means either the bottom or the left face will be the darkest. I'm trying to be careful about not going outside the lines. I want it to stay nice and sharp. As you can see, I did right there a little bit. Try to fix that. You don't want it to look, you know, you want to keep that sharpness of your line, and if you have to keep making little corrections like that, it's probably going to lose that. Alright, so this is going to be my medium. So this is going to be lighter than the light, or lighter than the dark side, but it's going to be darker than the light side. If that makes sense, hopefully. And each side of your box should really be one value. I don't want to leave anything white where it's going to look like there's some light areas. It's got to really be the same value all the way across, so that it's not confusing as to, okay, is that your light or your medium side? You know, is it your dark or your medium? I don't want it to get really dark up here and then be light down here. That's cheating. That's make it all one shade. Okay, boom. So pink's done. I'm going to put that up there. The next color I'm going to do is going to be my orange. So light, I'm going to say this is medium. I'm going to say that's dark because it seems like this is farther away than that. So we're going to start with our light. My orange color pencil seems to get dark pretty quick, so I got to be really careful with it. I still want to do this crisscross thing where I shade it the one way and then I go shade it the other way because it does seem to make it look nice and uniform. So this is going to be my medium, this is going to be my dark. So I'm going to color, well, shade in my dark next because that makes it really easier for me to get my medium. Because then I know it'll be a value that's in between those two. So the dark, you just press as dark as you can, stay in your lines, but really saturate that face of the box with the color. So almost like your paper won't take any more color on that spot. That's how dark it should be. Okay, so then the next thing I'm going to do is my medium. So I know I want it to be lighter than the dark side, but darker than the light side. I shouldn't have to ask you which one your medium is. I should be able to look at your box and say, oh, that's the medium. Okay, there's my 3. So now the next one that I'm going to do is this teal. Okay. Again, light, medium, dark for this. So this is going to be my light. It is kind of close to the color, the background color, but it's enough difference that I'm okay with it. Do not use the same color that you used for your sky on a cube that's in the sky. Same thing, don't use the same color that you used for your ground on a cube that's located on the ground, because then it'll blend into the background and we don't want that. Okay, so this is going to be medium, this is going to be dark, so I'm going to do the dark side next. Notice that I'm not really swiping at those crumbs that the pencil's making because I don't want to make streaks on the background of my paper. Okay, so this is going to be my medium. So I want it to be darker than the light side, lighter than the dark side. And I want it to be even all the way across. Okay, that's done. Alright, so the next one that I'm going to do is going to be my red one right here. So this is light, that's dark. And remember, it's 2-point perspective because we have 2 vanishing points. Okay, we got one there and one there. That's where we got all of our angles for our lines. We didn't just guess. Alright. Okay, so that one's done. So now I'm going to start working on the ones on the bottom. Okay, I'm going to do this one a nice dark blue. This side's going to be my lightest because it's the closest to the sun. I want to make sure I stay in the lines. And remember, you want it to be one shade across the whole box. You don't want one, you don't want to have like a dark spot and a light spot. You want it to be all the same. Okay, so light, medium, dark. This is my medium. Now remember, usually I do my light and my dark and then I do my medium, because it usually makes it easier. Okay, that's my medium. My dark is going to be very dark. Okay. This one crumbles a lot, so if your color pencils make these little crumbs on them, don't wipe it with your hand because it's going to smear it across your page. Make sure you just blow it away, or I mean that's the safest way to get it so that you're not smearing your work. Also, notice I put my pinky finger here and lean over. I don't drag my hand across the spot that I'm coloring. Oof, I made a mistake. I don't like the way that looks. I'm gonna try to erase that out right there. I may have to go over top with my blue again to get it to match, but that was too big of a mistake. Alright. Disaster averted. That looked bad. Okay. So, see the little lines? You don't want to drag your hand across. That's from when I erased and then I brushed away the eraser pieces. And it smeared. Luckily it only smeared onto itself, but okay. Blue is done. Now I'm going to use this dark green. Now, this green is different enough from my background green, so I know I can use it. I tested it earlier. I'm going to make this top face light. I want it to be uniform. So by that I mean I want it all to be the same shade or value. Okay, so light, medium, dark. So I'm going to go to my dark next. Ooh, my pencil is broken. Okay. And it's still broken. Pencil's having a lot of problems. Okay, I think it's okay, so we're going to go with it. This is going to be my dark. Since this pencil seems to want to break all the time, I'm going to try to be gentle with how I get to that dark value. And it still broke. so it might be a little bit rough. Sometimes, guys, you got to be really careful with how you handle your color pencils too. If you bang your pencils on the table and things like that, the lead inside of them can break, and then you'll notice that every time you go to color with the pencil, the lead breaks. And, you know, it could be the way you're coloring, but it also could be the inside lead is already broken, so making it not as strong. So, yeah, if you're always able to pull the lead out, because, like, you know, if you pull on the point of your pencil and it pulls the lead out and it's another broken spot, it could be the fact that the inside of that pencil is just destroyed. So don't bang your pencils on the table. Keep with drumsticks for that. Be careful how you handle your color pencils. Don't just throw them around and stuff, because you could run into that problem where it breaks the lead. Okay, so this is going to be my medium tone. Okay, that one's done. And now we're going to go with our purple. So, my last one, I'm going to say this is light. I'm going to say that's medium, that's dark. So, light is my top face. Okay, this is going to be medium, this is going to be dark over here. So I'm going to start, another broken pencil. Okay, just going to be careful. These pencils have soft lead. They can break really easy. Like this one's going to break again, I think. So I got to be really careful. You can get to your dark hue though by not just by pushing hard. You can also get to it by adding layers. Obviously, I have to be careful with these about how hard I push. I'm going to have to empty my sharpener soon. Alright. Yep, I knew it. I could see a little chip on the side of it. I think my pencils are kind of... I dropped them a couple times. Okay, this one looks pretty good. Oh, I'm wrong. I dropped them a couple times and that caused the lead to not be very... See? See, I pulled out? That means that the lead was broken inside the pencil. That's not good. I really hope that this works. I don't know. I'm just going to go with it. Hopefully I can build it up enough that it'll work. It's too late to change the color, so it's got to work. If you have this happen to you, I know it can be frustrating. So if you have it happen where your pencil just keeps breaking, you just got to get through that one cube. Just got to make it through that one cube. And so to build up that really dark color, I wasn't pressing that hard with the pencil. I was just adding layers upon layers to get it to that darkness. Okay, so now this one has to be medium, so I don't have to press that hard, so that's good. If you can feel your pencil point giving way and it's one that you've been constantly having to resharpen, then just go a little bit lighter and just build up layers. Alright. Because, yeah, I don't want to have to resharpen this one again. And I probably won't choose this color again, which is a shame because it's a pretty color, but it's just too much. Too much of a hassle. Alright, I'm going to go this way with it. Just try to make it a nice even tone. It's really close to this shade. I'm hoping you can tell the difference. You can't really, so I'm going to really try to get back over top of this dark since I'm at the end and see if I can make it darker. If I can help it, I don't want to have to erase out to make that one lighter. Okay, that worked. Alright, so this is my dark. Alright guys, so that's basically it. Just kind of follow along and do your best. Actually, no, it's not it. I don't know what I'm saying. I apologize. I forgot about the shadows. I need to add shadows on the ground. Okay? So that's basically it for coloring, but now we're going to add shadows. Okay, so what we're going to do is, this is our light source. So I need to take my straight edge, and I need to, from about where that light source is, I'm going to create a light line. The reason why I say light is because any shadows that you put in are going to have to get up to at least the darkness of your line. So I know you can barely see that line, but in person you'll be able to see the line you create. Now for the shadow for this one, it's going to start right about here, right about midway up the box. Okay, so let me see, right about there would be good. Okay, so now I've got a line on either side. This is where my shadow is going to be. Okay, I'm going to shade that area in darker in a minute. Okay, so from this side I'm going from the corner. Okay, and then from this side I'm going to go about halfway up again. Okay, just bring it all the way off the paper. Okay, so now for this one right here, I'm going from the corner. I'm going to stop when it hits the box, and then I'm going to carry it on the other side of the box. So I'll know that this area of the shadow, because it's going to have both the red box's shadow and the purple box's shadow in it, it's going to be even darker. Okay, so now I'm going to do the purple box. Purple box is going to go from the corner. Just carry this all the way off. And then purple box is going to be right about there. Carry that all the way off. Okay, so this area here, where it's both the red and the purple box's shadow, that's going to be even darker. Okay? Alright. So, right up against the box is going to be the darkest part of your shadow. So go ahead and darken right up against the box. Okay? As your shadow gets farther away from the box, you'll be able to let up off the pressure that you're putting on your pencil a little bit. But you want it to be gradual. So as you can see here, I don't want it to be where it looks like it's dark and then it's not. I want it to look like a gradual change from dark to light. So the way you achieve that is by not pressing as hard, like letting up the pressure just a little bit each as far, as you get farther away, you let up a little bit more. Okay, so I'm pressing hard, a little bit less, a little bit less, a little bit less until it blends in. Okay, hard, a little bit less, and I'm just going back and forth to try to blend that in. Because I don't want this to look striped. I don't want it to be like dark light. Alright, boom. One shadow done. And we're not doing any shadows for the top 3 boxes. They're in the sky, so we're not going to put their shadows in. We can just pretend that their shadows are cast closer to the viewer so you can't see them. They're off the page. And that's what we're going to pretend. Alright. Really nice and dark up against the box. I'm starting to blend it out. Notice how I'm kind of shading in the direction of the shadow instead of shading in the direction that I shaded when I colored in the background at first. So it's kind of going opposite grain, and that's okay because that's going to help your shadow stand out. Oops, that's not good. I just colored on my next project that I have to record. Alright, so that one's done. Next one I'm going to do is this red box. It's going to be nice and dark right up against it. It gets lighter as it gets out further. But then it's going to hit that purple box. Okay, so very dark. Okay. Alright. So now this purple box, it's going to have some areas that are even darker. So right in here, this shadow part is going to be even darker than this shadow. Okay. So again, it's going to be very dark right up against the box. And it's going to start to gradually get lighter as it gets farther away. Okay, and this is part of the shadow from the red box and the purple box. And I got Alright, gotta mute my TV. Alright. That means that I've been working on this project for 2 hours, because, well, between this one and the other grade levels. Alright, so this is a little bit darker, just because it's blocked by 2 boxes. So I'm just adding in a little bit more shading on this spot. Okay. And now that is it. It's done. So good luck, and I will see you guys in class.